Hello, everyone, and welcome on to Branded. This is the podcast that takes you behind the scenes and beyond the brand. I'm super excited for today's episode. We are diving into part 2. We're talking about technology and your mental health with the founder of Divinity Science, Ashley Williams, and one of her counterparts, Amisha. I am super pumped to have these two ladies here today. We're going to be diving into the innovative and really transformative technology that they're creating for an 8-dimensional total wellness app called Qubit. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So Amisha is joining us from across the world. It's nighttime for her. So we're so super grateful. And Ashley and I are in the States. And this is going to be a fun conversation because I think we're really going to be touching on really challenging some of the norms that are out there right now, how technology, what role does it really play in our lives? How is it really affecting our psychology? Just all of the wellness that comes into play when we're using tech. So to kick us off, I want to first start talking about Qubit, the app that you guys are creating. Where did the name come from? Where did this whole concept come from?
There's a story behind everything that I do. Qubit, quite ironically, didn't even have a name. Didn't even have a name up until recently. And I come up with all these ideas on how to build out this business and didn't even think about naming the product. And my mom had actually mentioned it to me, like, hey, you haven't named it yet. And I thought it was funny because I was like, no, I don't. I guess I maybe need a name. And then I kind of put it off because I was like, it'll just come to me. The universe will just bring it to me. And then I was in a working session with our advisor that's a theoretical astrophysicist. And he also brought it to my attention. Hey, you don't even have a name for this thing. You've built out wireframes. You've gone into the whole psychology on how to build this out, right. But you haven't even named it. Like you haven't. So he actually is the brains behind it. He suggested it. It's Qubit. And Qubit actually gets its name because Qubit is the smallest unit of measurement in quantum computing. And so my algorithms, without giving away secret sauce here, are based on a qubit. So that is how it got its name. Everything has a story.
Yeah. And honestly, that happens so much. Like when I started my business, I didn't have a name, but I had a couple clients and I was doing some stuff and I'm like, you know it when you know it. And honestly, I think that's one of the things that I try to tell my clients and people that I'm talking to. It's like, don't stress about the parts of the equation that are going to come to you. Like, you're going to find a name because you're already working on the product and it's already like this passion project, that you're doing that's going to develop into something real. And those aspects are going to come, right? So
and the funny part about it, though, I have to say this is I didn't like the name at first. And I usually like when I like something, I really like something, but my mind can change on things. And when he started selling his point, like I finally took it home and I noodled on it. And I really was like, dang it, that's the name. That's it. It makes perfect sense. And so I have to admit, I did not like it. So that's a fun part about that I didn't mention. That my initial reaction was like, I don't really think that's gonna be a good one, but really it's actually quite perfect.
Yeah, I love it. So Amisha, give us a little insight into what you're doing with the app. How are you supporting Qubit?
So I'm a technical enthusiast, right? So I just like to bring this big, bold, amazing ideas like Ashley's into something tangible and something user-friendly. So when I got to know about this startup and this whole thing, I was so intrigued and I just wanted to step on it. I just couldn't resist myself jumping on board. And since then, I've been trying to handle the technical side of the application. And I realized that right now in this world, like it is moving fast and technology is not just something that we are using to tend to our needs, but it has become a constant companion, and we are increasingly like dependent on it, and at some points even like we see that a lot of people we see a lot of people mindlessly scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or apps like that, and even like using or chasing some wins in these online games. So we realize that every kind of addiction has something related to the human psychology behind it. So for example, like whenever you try to level up in your game, in some online game, or you're trying to like increase your score or achieve some kind of goal over there. So your brain releases some hormones, and that gives you a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nature to seek out these rewarding experiences. But sometimes we just do not find the right tools to do it. So that made us rethink this whole idea. Like, how can we use technology to give that same sense of accomplishment to to humans or to users, but with an approach that is more positive and a little pivoted towards the wellness.
Mm.
So here is where our app would come, and our app is made. We are trying to make it very simple, and it has to have a powerful approach. Like what we are trying to do is that we'll just ask the user to give us some answers to some very simple questions, like easy to fill questions, not taking up much of their time, and we would give them some wellness score. So this wellness score is a two-part wellness score. One would be like there would be a numerical score, and the other would be a Greek letter score. And the Greek letter score is basically divided in three segments. Okay, so one is sigma. Sigma means that you are a wellness leader. Good, good to go. And then there's delta. So delta is the place where you are at a very good pace in your life, and but there's more scope. There's more way to go. And then there's omega. So, to make this fun and engaging for the users as well, which are coming on our app, we are trying to build an avatar gamification kind of system where we would give the users an avatar, and that avatar would grow, and it would like fill with positivity and energy whenever a user like completes a wellness task. And that wellness task has to be like it does not has to be a very big task. It can be a very small convenient task, but whenever a user completes it, it kind of increases their avatar, and that gives them that sense of accomplishment. So without even knowing, we are actually making self-care a rewarding habit instead of it being just a chore. It's a rewarding habit now, and you're doing it one step at a time. You're using it like you're doing it very consistently, like small steps, and trying to make them into a lasting habit which is healthy.
Yeah.
So we are just trying to like change the way technology is being perceived right now. And uh, and we are also looking at in the future. It's in the future, but we are also looking at making a positive feed section where the sigma, basically the wellness leaders, can post in motivational content or inspiring content. So and the main catch over here is that that content is not for like is not unlike is not like the endless scrolling that we do,
Yeah.
right? It is to motivate you to get back to your rather than being consumed by the content that you're watching.
Mm.
So that's the catch there. That's the way we are thinking of it in a way that makes it a little less distracting and more motivating.
Yeah.
So we are trying to use technology in a way that makes it not draining, but actually uplifting. So that you can create a healthier lifestyle. So
Love that.
that is the vision behind all this. So
Tech
yeah.
enthusiast. I mean, she said it before she even said anything else, and she gets it. I mean, that is what we are building out, and we're doing it because we're observing these other tech companies, and we know that we do not believe that any product has been built out with any ill intent, or with malicious thought. I really believe things are being built out because we believe it's good for psychology, but there's got to be some bridges that connect here to make sure that when we build out the technology, we're doing it in a humane way, that humane technology, and making sure that we're protecting our users as well, and allowing them to opt into the features that they, in the data that they want to perhaps give away, right? Like, we need to make sure that there's better ways to do it. So that is what we are building out from a technical, and that's what Qubit is about, is making each user their healthiest self, so that they can be positive in the world around them. It's take it back to part one, middle out problem solving. It's the quantum physics of behavior. Let's create the healthy app that will make every user healthy.
I think it's really interesting. Like, this whole concept really shakes the tree of like the status quo of how people have been using social media and technology for the last decade or so, right? It's all happened so quickly. Like, I remember having MySpace back in, way back when, before we had any of the other stuff. And it was sort of like this luxury of, oh, if I have some extra time at the end of the night, maybe I'll log in and I'll see what other people are up to. Now, I mean, like you said, Amisha, we literally every second of the day are consuming.
It's a necessity. It's a necessity to be, in certain levels, and even professionally to some, it's a necessity. So what are we doing to build it out to be safe? That's is the real question. I think there's really laws and regulations and policies on data collection and privacy. They're all real behind. So we're trying to think of this from the ground up in the healthiest way possible.
We are even exploring this section in a very different way, that we do understand that data protection is very important. So just keeping it mainstream is not the goal over here. We are trying to use the latest technologies like blockchain and trying to work with it, that how we can make it, because this is a wellness app. So whenever a user will come, he needs to have that kind of safe environment. Like, he could feel that the app is a confidant, right? And that data protection is very important at this level. So I think that we will be trying to make it as safe as possible using the best technologies. Where we are exploring it right now, and we are digging into it.
Well, what I find to be really fascinating about this concept and this app that you guys are rolling out is, honestly, you're answering a question that most people are actively seeking. And honestly, it's probably the reason that most of them are out utilizing social media and apps to begin with. They want to learn more about themselves, right? That's like the age-old question that every human and every, have ever existed wants to know, who am I? What's my purpose here? How can I feel my best and be my best and offer my best to the world? And I think most people utilize technology seeking that answer, but do they get it? No. Instead, they get, they play the comparison game, or they get a, knock to their self-esteem because they're not as big and shiny and glittery as somebody else they see, while they're just mindlessly scrolling. And so I think this is phenomenal, because it really puts that sense of power back into it personalizes it for that person to be like, I'm in control of like how I'm going to really present myself and utilize technology. And I think, honestly, the timing of all of this couldn't be better for you guys, because there's like such an awareness around mental health and around how we as humans are showing up in the world and the things that we do and say and how it affects other people. And that's not really something that was all that important just 10, 20 years ago.
What's important to touch on is why we now have this awareness all of a sudden, because you're right, we haven't had this awareness. But when we're looking at statistics, just since social media, 2011 to 2013 alone, when social media became relevant to younger audiences, the numbers for in hospitalizations for life-threatening, like self-harm and suicide, they increased dramatically because directly correlated with technology. And so again, I don't think that when we were building technology, we realized the impact. We do the best we can with what we have. And we do live in a society that's, it's capitalism, right? So everything is driven by money. So how do we build out a company in a way that capitalizes off of every user being their best self, right? So that we're just feeding right back into this, again, holistic wheel of wellness throughout the globe, right? That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And the skill sets, what I want to speak to on our the social element to this app will eventually be based on skill sets. So it's like a portfolio of skills. Instead of having mass quantity of content on your social media page, you will have quality content that will show your skills within certain areas and functions and dynamics. And that will, that's how you level up and you increase your wellness by going out and getting new hobbies, learning new things, getting your hands dirty, playing with the dirt, playing with plants, learning how to nurture, right? These are all the things that we don't think about, that we don't spend time on every day, because when we're checking in with ourselves, we're checking in perhaps only on a certain area. Not all of us are checking in on all of the dimensions that we need to check in on. So let's create an app that will help you check in for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think that really touches on what Amisha was saying earlier about how self-care really, it becomes not a chore. Like it becomes something you desire to do, because I mean, you ask most women these days, what they do for their own self-care, and they're like, I don't have time for that. It's like, you better find time. You're going to burn out.
And this gamifies it to where it makes you want to make time, right? So that's the fun part about this app, is that we're looking to gamify this. So that when you sit down and you spend time checking in, it's fun, it's engaging, it's something that you want to enjoy, and you do enjoy, right? So it's a win-win all the way around, I think.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a unified platform. Like, for example, for fitness, we need to go to we hire certain fitness enthusiast or like a gym trainer or something like that. And then for a mental health, we go for mental coaches or psychiatrists or something like that. So why not have all of that in just one app? Like something that is
actually access, even if it's not in the app, having the access to know, hey, maybe go check this out, right? So even if we don't have that element in the platform built in, we're still looking to provide recommendations to the most accurate therapies and potential options for that particular user based on their needs. So I want to speak to that. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No, that's absolutely correct. Like that's what we are aiming for. And circling back to the point where Ashley told that it's a capitalistic society, right? Like we are chasing after money and we are doing the things that are giving us the money, like even if it's at the expense of people's health or people's mental health or bad habits or something like that. So why not create a place where we are also giving back to the society? Like if something is running, then we are giving back to the society in a way that it is helping them, it is making them healthier, it is making them happier. So why not do that? Why not see that in that light, right? So
what's interesting is that everyone knows that this is an issue, right? So even tech leaders, like within the industry, are leaving for ethical reasons because they know these are the issues. So any tech leader, come join. Come join us. We're trying to do it a different way.
It really is so true. And that's why I was saying before, like could not be at a better time, because there is such this heightened awareness around ethical issues, how people are being exploited essentially through the use of technology, right? Yes, it was something that they chose to participate in, but because of how some of this tech code is written and how you have to engage with it, it really becomes an either or kind of thing. And it sort of quote unquote others you away from other people, making you feel like left out of something. This whole idea of like create the FOMO, it's a little bit manipulative because it might not be the right thing for somebody, yet you're making them feel like they desire it so much that they must have it. And that's where your own awareness comes into play. And you have to say, you know what, that's just not for me, even though that looks super exciting. I mean, I'm guilty of buying into ideas and concepts that are not for me. And I've spent my time trying those things and really trying, like putting a good effort towards it, and really having to come to that realization that it's like, this is just not the right path for me. I need something that's more holistic, more mindful, more aware of like how it makes me feel. And so that's why whenever I initially talked to Ashley about this, I'm like, 100%, I would love to have a conversation, because this is the type of thing that I think more people need to be openly, vulnerably talking about, and unafraid of how it makes some other person running some tech company feel. Like I say all the time that I'm not a super huge fan of social media. Where does this podcast show up on? Social media. Have I been kicked off yet? No. I mean, hopefully I never will, but you know, I do it my own way without trying to disparage anybody else along the way. I'm just speaking my own truth, right? And I think that's what's so cool about this app is you guys are really honing in on the human component and allowing that to be what really drives the connection between all of the other users and really drives your own personal user experience in it. It's not about comparing yourself to other people and things like that. And I do actually want to talk a little bit about that personalized experience for the users. Like my profile is going to be completely different than your two profiles.
With some overlap, right? With some overlap, there's subpopulations like our veteran military first responder populations that we know we need to handle their health and specifically their mental health a little bit differently than we do the other general population. So how do we create just enough difference to where that subpopulation has exactly what they need to get their hands on it quickly if they run into an emergency situation, right? SOS, I am not feeling well and I don't feel like I have anybody to talk to. We want to make sure that they, you know, have support immediately, or even if you're not in that population, we want to make sure that, you know, you have support immediately. And we know those populations perhaps are a little bit more at risk.
Yeah.
So having that personalized approach really does help. It hones in on yourself, but also, you know, it does have overlap with certain communities.
Mm-hmm. Amisha, can you speak to some of the tech side of like how Qubit is doing that personalized experience?
Yeah, I was just going to say that on the technical level, I mean, if we are trying to personalize something for a person, we are looking at using artificial intelligence and machine learning models, where, for example, if you're given a wellness score and if you are, whatever answers you're giving in the questions that we are asking you, that is getting monitored. And we are kind of trying to we will recommend you the things that you need to do, the tasks that you need to do, or the things that give you good therapies according to the answers that you give us. So all of that is sense like we are trying to achieve it through machine learning and artificial intelligence. And that is the technical aspect of it. Like that is how we are trying to make it personalized for the person. So yeah.
I love that. And marrying AI, machine learning with human psychology, I honestly don't think that enough people are talking about that. And when I have conversations with people about, you know, ChatGPT or all of these other AI kind of things, I really find that most people rely far too heavily on AI being the brain behind everything, when it's like, who do you think creates this AI? A human like Amisha is sitting there creating this AI, right? So us understanding where the code really comes from, where this machine learning, how is this machine learning? It's learning from a human who has feelings and emotions and who can connect with the things that you're experiencing. And you guys really showcasing that side of machine learning, I think is what is so super cool. That's, in my opinion, where AI and machine learning should be headed. And I hope more people start doing it.
I think once we break through and once people start seeing what we're doing, I think it'll catch on. I know it'll catch on. I really do. A lot of things that we're doing are going to catch on.
Yeah, I love it. So who's kind of the demographic? And I know that this is a tricky question because, I mean, literally everybody is going to benefit from this, but who would you say the day the launch of the app, you know, happens, who's like really, they're downloading it immediately? Who's that target market?
Our goal target market, I mean, everyone, as you mentioned, because there are ways that everyone can benefit from this. Our initial target market to the public as an app will be athletes and the wellness community.
Mm-hmm.
People that are very much into health and into those types of that spend their time on those types of apps. And then we hope it will spread, because we believe that wellness is actually a conversation, even mental wellness, right? Your psychological wellness, or there are conversations we're starting to have. So if we tap into these communities that are really looking at wellness, I think that's going to really help us branch out to the others that need us. Subpopulations, I continue to mention this because it's extremely important to make sure that we build the technology in a way that we can get it in the hands of people that are in at-risk juvenile centers or in these systems that can only check in every so often. We want to be able to build that out to where they can still, track their wellness, and we can help build out their skill sets in a way, whatever their situation may be, whether they are able to get out and use an app in the future or not, right? We want them to be able to track their wellness. And so getting the technology into those hands is extremely important to us, because it's middle out problem solving. And those are the communities that need us the most.
Yeah.
So the app, twofold, right? It's those populations. But I think wellness, and then I'd love the military first responder community as well. Those are my goals. I have big goals. I'm a dreamer.
I love it.
Nice.
So I was just having this idea as you were talking, thinking what a fantastic idea as like a potential, obviously this is recorded and this is, streaming. So don't hold me to it. These are just ideas, but wouldn't it be so amazing? Like you said, juvenile detention centers, even grown adults that are imprisoned, like to have a tool like this, that those counselors, those psychologists that are working for these facilities can use as a platform for all of the people that are living inside of these communities.
Big dreams.
Oh my gosh.
That's the goal.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Yeah, no, it's recorded. I said it too. That's my idea. Like, that's how I want to, that's why I'm building out I'm trying to build this technology and the algorithm out to where it's a little flexible, to where it has that flexibility. So that's something I'm thinking of as far as the subpopulation.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just for the ladies wearing Lululemon, it's like, it's everybody.
It's everybody. And, it's funny. So there's in other countries, right? Myanmar, for example, there was civil discord because of polarizing apps, that technology that was polarizing the population. And, what was happening that they found out is that these individuals were going to a store and they were buying a phone. And when they buy the phone, the person in the store downloaded Facebook for them. Well, the Facebook algorithms were naturally causing divide just based on the way that they're programmed, right? And that's just the way it is. But it was causing war and death and destruction, all because of this, divide. So what if I could get this app instead of Facebook or any other app, get this app to be the first one downloaded when you get a phone, right? That's the goal. It's the U app. I said it last time. It's the U app.
Yeah.
I mean, we have pre-installed apps when we get a phone, right? So we are promoting these apps like Facebook, or sometimes we even have WhatsApp installed nowadays and all those things. Then why not this app? Like, why not promote this app as well? That this is a necessity in your life. This is pre-installed in your phone. Let's just go and check it out.
I mean, yeah, like on my iPhone, I have, it's like called Health or something. And then there's like, you can track your heart rate. Like all these things are.
But you have to go to all the different apps right now. So if only
just you
there
wait.
was an app that had it all in there that would compile that data and really help you tweak your routine, your daily routine, and the time you check in, what you check in on, really tweak it to what you need.
Yeah. So cool. I'm so excited for what's to come for you guys, and just to see this continue to grow. And, you know, like we said at the beginning of this conversation, this is part 2. There are still a couple more parts to this little mini series that we're going to be doing. There's really fantastic conversations that are going to be had. And I just think it's fantastic that we're taking this focus of, you know, technology that is constantly draining us, instead shifting it to one that, like Amisha said, it's energizing you. It's something that you feel rewarded to do, and without you feeling reliant. It's more of like a supportive tool versus something that you feel like is a necessity for you to like just live. You know, people think they have to check in on social media in order to like start their day. And if they don't, they're missing out. And it's just like, no, just check in with yourself. You know, that's
so if you really want to dig into it, what's really happening is it's neuroplasticity, right? Mm-hmm. So neuroplasticity is the ability for your neural networks in your brain to rewire and reorganize so that you can think around problems. You end up thinking around problems differently. It's habit forming, right? Mm-hmm. And it's neuroplasticity. So how do we create positive habits and rewire the brain? What we're doing is really actually rewiring brains in a positive direction. Right now, technology, it doesn't consider what it's doing on the brain necessarily. So, so how do we build a technology that's safe for the brain? And that's what, from the inside out, that's what we're building.
Oh, I love that so much. So what's like the next year look like for you guys? I mean, obviously there's a launch date in sight probably, which always gets shifted because, you know, business, life, things happen. But what's the next year kind of look like for Qubit?
Again, I'm a dreamer, right? So here are my dreams today. So I'm actually hiring right now for a COO. So taking this back to part 1, the reason I even came across this idea for this app is because I have disabilities that make certain feel like daily tasks very challenging. And so I can see the bigger picture as a puzzle, and I'm brilliant at piecing all the research together and gamifying it and making this a really healthy app. But I struggle with the day-to-day operations, making sure I'm managing my people the right, you know, and keeping on target and making sure I'm building out my teams right. And so I actually decided, you know what, I really need a COO. So I am in the middle of a hiring cycle. I have some final candidates. So I am hiring at least one person out of this round to help me keep the operations running. And so that way I can focus on the research and the strategy and the human body itself, learning as much as I can about, you know, neuroscience and the body as well. So, so really I'd love to bring them on. And then looking for grant money. So we're going to start applying for grants and looking for grant money. And we're also going to relaunch our Kickstarter campaign. I have bittersweet. I'm happy to say that we failed at our first Kickstarter campaign, but I think that the failure actually proved to be more valuable than anything I could have gotten from it. So I am taking those failures, and I've learned a lot since. And so really, we're going to try and relaunch that, and somebody else is going to take the reins of that one. So I don't have that one. And so hopefully our COO is going to take that on and really build out our team strategically, right? So the next year is looking like building out the team to have a strong foundation. We have a lot of people that believe in this mission. It's just, how do I create the right hodgepodge of people, right? That right mixture to really create brilliance. Every single one of them are brilliant. But how do I really bring them together to create an even more brilliant product, and with a mission that's positive, right? And every single one of them believe in what we're doing, which is amazing. I love having them on board with me. So within the next year, we'd like to have our app launched, right? We'd like to have a steady flow of users. We'd like to have several influencers in the wellness area that are on board with us. So we'd like to have those things in place to really set ourselves up strategically for the next 5 years. So,
love it. What does the tech side look like, Amisha? Like, I mean, without getting a little too techie because we might lose you. But what does that kind of look like? Because I'm interested in what those builds look like since I build websites and such. And it is a unique perspective. A lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of things.
So right now, like we are on the phase one of the application where we are trying to create a basic application where a user can create a profile, they can log in, they can log out, they can answer those questions that we are going to ask them, and we can feed them on to our machine learning models, which then goes to Ashley's secret sauce and gives us a wellness score out of it. And then what we are planning is that the next step would be to create a recommendation system, a proper recommendation system for them, which is personalized, just tailored to their needs. And then we are going to bring in that avatar thing, that where we are basically gamifying it in a way that is positive. And and that is how it will look in the near future. Obviously, we can do a lot of things, we can experiment on a lot of levels over here, but the three phases that we have finalized on right now are these. And yeah, I'm super excited. Really excited.
That's amazing. And it really is like technology, it's in layers that you have to
Yeah.
build these things
Right.
out and really kind of, you have to test it constantly
Yeah.
along the way to make sure
Yeah.
that like all the time you spend on this one thing actually works
Yeah.
before you move on
Yeah.
to, the next thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that for sure.
We have to start it from the absolute ground zero. We have to build on it. Like we just can't go to the last step and then go down from that. We have to like first lay our ground and then build on it. So yeah, that's what we are trying to do right now.
I love it. Man, technology and your mental health. Like, this is such a powerful topic. I'm so excited that we got to talk about this today. And this is only part 2 of a 4-part series. And honestly, it might end up being more than 4 parts. We'll see. There's a lot to talk about. But I hope that anybody listening to this episode has really like felt the passion from all 3 of us. Like, I am not even building this app with them, and I'm really freaking excited for them. And honestly, just for society to be able to experience something like this, and knowing how avid people use technology these days, there is no really going back, right? Like, so you have to buy into the notion that people are going to use tech every single day of the week if they can get their hands on it. So let's make it the best for them, the most positive experience, and, really boosting their wellness, because wellness is such an epidemic in the States. I know for sure, like, people just don't quite focus on it enough. And the more things that can really shine a spotlight on how important taking care of yourself reflects in every other aspect of your life. I mean,
Yeah.
if you desire all the success and money and all the things, you still got to take care of yourself. So
And this whole thing is, I mean, I'll say it again. It's a personal journey for me to get to my best self. So as I have my bad days, and Sarah, I thought about you the other day, actually, because I was having a really bad day. And I was like, yep, we talked about this. We just need to get back to my center. And I went outside and I got some sunshine and I listened to some music, and, I stretched and I did the things we talked about, actually. And I felt much better. So I did think about you because, this whole idea is still being built out. It's still evolving, and it's all because I feel not so great from my day to day. So, one day at a time, that's all we can take it. Even no money in the world can buy that health. And so it's a health journey for me.
I love that. Ladies, thank you so much for this. I'm really excited to get these episodes put together and launched. It'll be coming out really soon. I mean, from the time that we're recording. And I think this is just going to be an ongoing, really powerful conversation. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us again. Thanks for letting my team members join. I love their voices, and I appreciate every single one of them. So having them be a part of this, it just makes me smile. So I thank you, Amisha, for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank
much, Amisha.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Ashley and Sarah.
Absolutely. All right, ladies, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.